Okay guys, so this is the syllabus of solid state physics in CSIR NET examination. You can see this is the syllabus, and the syllabus of NET and GATE examination is almost same. Okay, so uh, you can check separately the syllabus, but it's almost same. There will be one or more topic also that is extra in GATE examination. Okay. Okay, so I will recommend two books for the preparation of these examination. So first book, if you want to start from basic, okay. So this is a solid state physics book by Puri and Babar, and it's very good book actually because the language is very good, and almost every topic is covered in this category, and language is very good. So if you want to just start this paper, you can choose this book initially. And if you want to go in detail, so you can start Kittel, okay, Introduction to Solid State Physics by Charles Kittel. This is very good book also. So these two books are available on our website. Okay, you can go to this link, and you can also go to the book section, and there you can find all the books. Okay. Okay, so now in this slide, we will discuss the most important topics of solid state physics. Okay, the syllabus is not very, we can say it's huge. Okay, so there are so many topics, but we are going to tell you the most important topics just to, in case if you don't have much time, and you want to just cover the most scoring topics. So these are the most scoring topics of solid state physics. Okay, so crystal structure, this is the very first topic in solid state, and it includes all the basic things like unit cells, lattices, and crystal structures, Bravais lattices, crystal planes, interplanar spacing, simple cubic, body centered cubic, face centered cubic, crystal structures. Okay, so these are the basics in crystal structure section. Okay, so these are very, very important topics. Okay, and Bragg's law, X-ray diffraction in reciprocal lattice. This is also very important. And lattice vibrations, 1D monoatomic and for 1D diatomic, lattice specific heat, and lattice specific heat. There is an explanation of classical theory, Einstein theory, and device theory. So this section is also very scoring. And free electron theory of metals, Fermi energy, density of states in all these three dimensions, 1D, 2D, and 3D, and also electronic specific heat. Effective mass is also very, very important, and effective velocity of electron. Semiconductors and Hall effect, superconductivity, in superconductivity type 1 and type 2 superconductors, critical temperature, critical magnetic field, Meissner effect, BCS theory, and Josephson effect. Okay, so these are the very, very important topic. But if you don't have your copy or pen, just arrange, because you should write few things, because few things are very, very important. Okay, so I will tell you, if you see and if you go through the last 6 to 7, or we can say 10 years question papers, you can realize that frequently this the question you can have from this topic, from Josephson effect. Okay, so this is a very, very important topic, and AC and DC Josephson effect is a very important topic. Frequently you can have questions from this topic. And Hall effect, it's very important. Effective mass is also very, very important, and all these topics are very, very important. Okay, so don't skip these topics if you are preparing for the examination. Okay, so now in today's lecture, we will discuss these topics. Okay, so we will discuss about the reciprocal lattices, density of states, Fermi energy, and some problems from previous examinations, and few tricks. Okay, so be ready and let's start. Okay, so first thing I want to tell you why I choose this topic, reciprocal lattice. Okay, some of my students always ask me that this is a very confusing topic. Okay, and so many times they have problems as from this section. So hello, I think something is on something need to be mute. Let me, who is, please unmute everyone, because you can ask questions once we finish this lecture. Okay, you can ask questions, so be ready, but for now you can go on mute. Okay. Okay guys, so we were talking about the reciprocal lattice. Okay, so as I said, this is a little confusing topic, so we choose this topic. Okay, so first thing, you have already heard about the direct lattices, right? Okay, so before reciprocal lattice in crystal structure, whatever you read in basically direct lattice, okay, like primitive translation vectors A, B, and C. Okay, so these are the vectors from the direct lattice system. So if you want to describe only the crystal structure, okay, you need only direct lattices, right? But if you want to get some information about the crystal structure, means if you want to see or if you want to analyze the atomic arrangement inside the crystal, you have to go for X-ray diffraction, right? But if you see the X-ray diffraction, I hope you have seen this X-ray diffraction pattern. So in X-ray diffraction pattern, you realize that this is not a direct microscopic technique. Okay, you cannot see directly atoms by using this technique, and you can have some peaks. These peaks are basically Bragg peaks, and you can have these peaks at different positions in different directions. Okay, so these peaks, these Bragg peaks, are basically related to the atomic planes in direct lattice, right? And as these are related to atomic planes, they can give you the information about the atomic arrangement inside the crystal. But the problem was this relationship is not that much simple. Okay, so at that time, this was a huge problem. Okay, so the solution is given by the famous PP Ewald. Okay, Paul Peter Ewald. He was a German physicist and crystallographer, and he gave us the idea of reciprocal lattice so that we can draw the information about the atomic arrangement from that X-ray diffraction pattern, right? So that's how we are supposed to discuss or know about the reciprocal lattice. Okay, and these two lattices system, reciprocal lattice and direct lattices, they are related by Fourier transform. Okay, so now one thing. Okay, so this is the definition about the reciprocal lattices. Means inside a direct lattice, each set of parallel planes, okay, if you know about the crystal planes, so you can relate. Inside the direct lattice, the set of parallel planes can be represented by the normal to these planes having length equal to the reciprocal of interplanary spacing. Okay, and these normals are drawn from an arbitrary origin, and the end point of these normals is marked, and so this point is called a reciprocal lattice. So this is just information, just a definition actually. So we will tell you actually how we can construct the reciprocal lattice for a direct lattice. Okay, so this is the very important slide, so listen it very carefully. So first thing, if you have a crystal structure in direct lattice, right, and if you want to visualize or construct this structure in direct lattices to the reciprocal lattice system, so what you have to do? So suppose this is your monoclinic crystal structure in direct lattice system, right? And first thing, if you see the definition of the reciprocal lattice, first thing you have to choose a set of parallel planes. Okay, so for this, So these two are parallel planes, okay, having Miller indices 0, 0, 1. If you know about the planes, crystal planes, so you must be know that the Miller indices of these parallel planes are same, okay. So if the Miller indices of this plane is 0, 0, 1, so for this plane the Miller indices will be 0, 0, 1, same. So these are the two parallel planes, so this will be a set, okay. Okay, and second thing, yeah, this and this, these two are also parallel planes and will have Miller indices 1, 0, 0. Yeah, and this is a third plane, diagonal plane, having Miller indices 1, 0, 0, 1. So this is the your crystal structure of monoclinic lattice, monoclinic crystal structure. So now we will construct its reciprocal lattice, okay. Yeah, so first step is you have to choose a set of parallel planes. So suppose you choose these two planes, okay, parallel planes. So first thing what we did, in place of these planes we draw a line. This line you can see having Miller indices 0, 0, 1. This line is also having Miller indices 0, 0, 1. Okay, so basically this line and this line, these are not actually lines, okay, these are the planes, and just for convenience we are taking it as a line, okay, because we are constructing reciprocal lattice. So in 3D it is very very difficult to visualize, okay. So just for convenience we took these planes as lines, okay. So this is your 0, 0, 1 plane basically, and this is also your 0, 0, 1 plane, okay. Second set, 1, 0, 0 planes. This is your 1, 0, 0 plane, and this is also your 1, 0, 0 plane, okay guys. And this third plane is this is your 1, 0, 1 plane, like this, okay. So this was your first step, okay. Your second step will be you have to choose an arbitrary origin, okay, inside the direct lattice structure. So suppose we took this as an arbitrary origin O, okay. So next step, your next step will be you have to draw normals to each and every set of parallel planes of direct lattice from the chosen arbitrary point, okay. So you have to draw normal from this point to the set of these planes, okay. Okay, so what we did initially, we draw normal. This is your normal, okay. This is your normal. From this point O we draw a normal to planes 1, 0, 0 plane. And what should be the length of this plane? It should be equal to the reciprocal of interplanar spacing between these two planes, right? If you know about the interplanar spacing, and the formula is DHKL equals to A upon under root H square plus K square plus L square. So for this particular plane, your interplanar spacing will be D100, and its reciprocal is 1 upon D100. So this is the length, okay. So what you are supposed to do, you just mark the last point, end point of this normal. So this will be your end point, okay. Write this. So we write it as 100, okay. So next thing, we choose this set 001, 001. Now we will draw normal to this plane, but before that we can also assume like this is the 100 plane, okay. In between these two planes there will be a plane having Miller indices 200, right? So for next plane, like this. So for plane 200, the interplanar spacing will be 1 upon D 200. So obviously D it will be greater than this length, okay. So again, suppose you are drawing a normal from this point O to the plane 200. So the length will be greater than this initial length. So suppose the end point is somewhere here. So just mark this point, it will be 200. Similarly for 300, this will be your end point, okay. I hope it's clear to you guys. So we can also do the same procedure from this set of plane 001 plane, okay. Like, so from O we will draw normal like this. Okay, and the length of this normal is this. So we will mark the end point. So this is 0, 0, 1. Again, for 0, 0, 2 plane, we'll mark like this. And for this plane, third plane, that was your 1, 0, 0, 1 plane, we will also draw the normal from O like this. This is your end point. So by using the same procedure, same method, we will draw all the normals to all the set of parallel planes. Okay, so and we will mark the end point of these normals. So these are the points. Okay, so this is how we can construct the reciprocal lattice. Okay, so the collection of these points, okay, the collection of these points is basically known as reciprocal lattice system, and these individual points are your reciprocal lattice point. Okay, so just we quickly revise the method. So your first step is you have to choose an origin at some arbitrary point inside the direct lattice system like this O. Second, you have to draw normals to each and every set of parallel planes of direct lattice from this chosen origin. Yeah. Third is the length of this normal should be equal to the reciprocal of the interplanar spacing between the set of parallel planes, right? And last step is the end points of these normal form the reciprocal lattice system. Okay. So I hope, yeah, it's clear to you. Yeah. So now we will discuss some formula related to reciprocal lattice. So this is the relation between reciprocal lattice and direct lattice, how we can convert mathematically. Okay, so if for direct lattice system, the primitive translation vectors are vector A, vector B, and vector C. Okay, these are the primitive translation vectors of direct lattice. So in similar way, we have also the fundamental translation vectors for reciprocal system. Okay, and these are represented as sigma 100, sigma 010, and sigma 001. And the mathematical relationship between these translation vectors is this. So vector A star, it's basically sigma 100, means one of the fundamental translation vectors for your reciprocal lattice system. So sigma 100 will be 2 pi vector B cross vector B C upon vector A dot vector B cross vector C. Okay, so this is how you can convert mathematically the translation vectors of these two reciprocal lattice, okay, from one space to another space. So in similar way, your V star, that is sigma 010, is 2 pi C cross A upon A dot B cross C. These are basically vectors. Okay. And in similar way, vector C star is 2 pi vector A cross vector B upon vector A dot vector B cross vector C. Okay. So this is how you can convert. So now I will tell you a short trick or formula which is very important. Just write down. So volume of reciprocal unit cell. So either you can use these formulas, like if you have some primitive translation vectors for direct lattice, and the question is in reciprocal lattice system, what would be the volume of the reciprocal unit cell? So either you can convert these vector A, B, and C like this in vector A star, vector B star, and vector C star. And after that, you can find the volume. Okay, but this is a very lengthy process. So the short trick is, okay, VR equals to 2 pi to the power 3 upon VD. Means you can directly convert the volume of direct unit cell to the volume of reciprocal unit cell by using this formula. Okay, so this is very important. VR is here, the volume of reciprocal unit cell, and your VD is volume of unit cell in direct lattice. Okay, so we will also discuss a problem. Okay, so this is a simple problem based on this formula, and it's from GATE 2009 examination. what is the volume of primitive cell of the face-centered cubic reciprocal lattice? Okay, so you have to find out the volume of uh, primitive cell of FCC reciprocal lattice. So if you know what is FCC, there are total number of effective number of atoms in FCC lattice are 4, right? And so the volume of direct lattice in case of FCC lattice is a cube by 4, right? You know this thing. So now your VD is a cube upon 4 directly. So you can directly use this formula, VR equals to 2 pi to the power 3 upon VD, and VD is a cube by 4 here. Just put this value and you can get the answer. That is 32 pi cube a cube. Okay, so this is a simple formula and you can use it directly, right? If you have any doubt, okay, you can ask after we finish this lecture. Okay. Yeah. So now quickly we will tell about the reciprocal lattices to BCC lattices. Okay, I'm not going to give you the details about how we can convert this, but I'm just telling you the main thing is which is for BCC lattice, this is your BCC, okay, and we took here 3 unit cells of BCC, and the primitive translation vectors for BCC lattices are these. So if you are confused how these terms came, so let us say suppose this one is your BCC structure, okay, and in BCC apart from atoms at the corners, you have a single atom inside the structure, okay, like this. So this is your atom, and this is also your BCC structure, and this is also your BCC structure, okay. So we have to find the coordinates of these points, okay. So let us say this is your A dash, vector A dash, this is your vector B dash, and this is your vector C dash. So you just find out the vector of these points, okay, and these are basically telling you the vectors for this particular atoms. So your vector A dash will be A by 2 I plus J minus K. Vector B, that is this vector, will be A by 2 minus I plus J plus K. Okay, and vector C dash is A by 2 I minus J plus K. So this is how you can write down the primitive translation vectors for BCC crystal structure. Okay, so if we talk about the reciprocal lattice to BCC lattice, what you want to do? Just nothing, just use this 3 relationship, okay, and by putting the values of A dash, B dash and C dash in place of A, B and C, you can get the values of these 3 vectors. These 3 vector A dash, vector A star, vector B star and vector C star. These are basically the fundamental reciprocal lattices vector for this structure, BCC structure, okay. So you can remember these formulas. These are very important because sometimes directly there is a question, and by using this formula, these relation, you can also have the answer, but it's good, it's always good to know or remember these formulas, okay. So one more thing, the reciprocal lattices of BCC lattice is basically FCC lattice, okay. So similarly we can tell the reciprocal lattice to FCC lattice. So like this is big one. The big unit cell, the big structure is basically your face-centered cubic crystal structure. And as you know, in face-centered cubic structure, you have the atoms at the surface of the unit cell. Okay, so like this, like this, like this, and like this. Okay, so, okay, yeah. So, and this middle one is basically, we basically join all these phase atoms together, and this is how we can make a small unit cell. Thus, this is just for mathematical explanation. Okay, so by using this, we can also have the primitive translation vectors for for FCC lattice. Okay, so your vector A dash is A by 2 I plus J. Vector B dash will be A by 2 J plus K, and vector B dash equals to A by 2 K plus I. Okay, we have limited time actually, so I am not telling you the details how we are getting these vectors. Okay, we can discuss later. So by using the same relationship, we can convert these A dash, B dash, C dash into A star, B star, and C star. So these are your reciprocal lattice vectors for FCC lattice. Okay, so conversely, reciprocal lattice to FCC lattice is BCC. Okay, yeah, let's move further. So now we will discuss a problem from CSIR NET 2013 examination. So this problem is based on the reciprocal lattice. So the problem is a lattice has the following primitive vectors. Vector A is 2j plus k, vector B is 2k plus I, and vector C is 2i plus j. The reciprocal lattice corresponding to the above lattice. Okay, so what you want? Okay, so you have to tell about the reciprocal lattice for this particular lattice. Okay, you have primitive translation vectors and you have to find out the reciprocal lattice for this particular. So you have these options. Okay, so now, okay, so this is the main and important formula, main and important relationship. You just need to use these formulas, right? You need the translation vectors for reciprocal lattice, means you need A star, B star, and C star, guys. So just put the values of A, B, and C, and you can have the value of these vectors. Okay, so you can calculate the value of first A dot B cross C by using these formulas. Okay, dot product of A and B cross C. Okay, and in this way you can calculate B cross C. Okay, you are familiar, I hope, about these terms. Okay, because these are very general thing. Okay, you can find out the cross product of B and C and just put the value of here, and the answer will be 16. Okay, the answer of A dot B cross C is 16. So next step, just put the value of this A dot B cross C 16 here. So your A star is pi by 2 minus I plus J plus K. So in similar way, you can get the values of B star and C star, right? So these, if you check these translation vectors, they are basically the translation vectors of BCC. Okay, we just in last slide. Okay, you can check one thing. Okay, so these are the primitive translation vectors of BCC. So our answer is, okay, so these three are the translation vectors of BCC lattice. So, and basically it will be a cube, and the edge of the cube is this pi by 2. Okay, so pi by 2 will be the length of edge of this cube. Okay, so that means your correct answer is, it's a BCC lattice and having the length of the cube edge is pi by 2. So this will be your correct answer. Okay, so now we will move further. We will discuss a very important very important topics, that is the density of states. Okay, so basically the idea is to tell you some formula and the tricks related to these topics, but it's little unfair. So we will give you just information, basic information, how this term appear. Okay, so if you know about the free electron theory, in free electron theory, basically we considered that the electrons which are moving inside a matter, these electrons are considered as atoms or molecule inside the perfect gas. And according to this assumption, we name this theory as free electron gas model. Okay, so we also explain this theory by using classical mechanics. So classical mechanics suggests that the behavior of these free electrons inside the metal can be considered as the motion of free electrons inside a potential energy box. Okay, so classical mechanics explains so many things for this free electron gas, but it failed in many ways. So after the failure of this theory, Sommerfeld suggested that we can explain this model by using quantum mechanics. And what he suggested that the possible energy states for electron and their distribution in these states, we can determine these states by using quantum mechanics. Okay, so that means there will be different possible energy states corresponds to the variation in energy. Okay, these states are known as density of states. So more precisely, I would say these states, density of states, basically they give you the number of allowed energy states for electron, or either for electron or for hole, and these states are basically for per unit energy range. Okay, so we can also determine density of states for electron, photon, phonon. Okay, and these density of states, this function basically can be related to energy and wave vector. Okay, so this is the theory of density of states. So in mathematical term, the density of state, as we already mentioned, number of energy states per unit energy range. So this is your number of energy states in this particular energy range. So this is your density of state. So as we are talking about the quantum mechanical explanation, yes, and what we said that it's like electrons moving inside a box, potential energy box. So there will be different dimension for this. This means the potential energy box will be 1D, 2D, and 3D. So based on these three dimensional system, we can calculate the density of states for these three systems. Okay, so I'm not giving you the actually the formula how we derived it, because it's very lengthy process. So we just telling you the formula of density states for one dimension system. So for 1D, it will be 4L upon H, m upon 2e to the power 1 by 2. Okay, and for 2D, your density of states will be 4 pi ma upon h square, and for 3D, density of states is v upon 2 pi square 2m upon h cut square 3 by 2 e to the power 1 by 2. So for one dimensional system, density of state depends, basically it's proportional to e to the power minus half, because other terms are constant. And for 2D, it is independent of e. There is no e, right? And for 3D, dE is proportional to e to the power half. Okay, so these are very, very important formula. So okay, so we will discuss also few things. I hope all are listening. Anyone is facing any issue?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, and everything is clear to you? Am I going too fast or slow?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
I'm going fast. Yeah, you can help and tell me. Okay, yeah. Okay, great. Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I want to tell you one more thing, guys. Actually, in September, next month, maybe from 1st September, we are going to, we can say, we are going to start live classes as well. Okay, and in this live classes, we are giving you an opportunity, like you can earn while learning. Okay, so means I'm repeating this line, you can also earn something while learning. So we will give you details about this in tomorrow lecture. Okay, so be there. Okay, and it's very important. So don't miss tomorrow's class and be ready. Yeah. Okay, so okay. So guys, in next slide, let me go further. Okay, so now I will tell you one more trick. Okay, how we can find out the density of state. We can find out the formula of density of state. So this slide is also very important because by using this small formula, you can quickly answer the problems. And this problem is, I think, in GATE examination and NET examination is very common problem. So sometimes you have a problem in which the energy is given to you, okay, and if E energy vector E is proportional to k to the power n, and k here is basically your energy wave vector, sorry, k is wave vector and E is your energy vector, and n is your constant, and this relationship is valid in some dimension d. Okay, so your density of states, you can directly find out the density of state by using these information. So your density of state will be proportional to e to the power d minus n upon n, right? So your d is dimension, n is your this constant. So you will use this formula and you can get the density of states in terms of k. So this is very important. Just highlight, write down this formula. Okay, so let's take an example. Like in a three-dimension system, energy vector E is proportional to k square, and you have to find out the density of states. So your dE is e to the power d minus n over n. So your d is 3, n is 2 upon 2. So your dE will be proportional to e to the power half. So this is how you can calculate. Okay, so this is a problem based on the same topic, density of states. It's from NET June 2013 examination. And the problem is, if the energy dispersion for two-dimension electron system is E, and your E is UH cut K, and U is velocity and K is momentum, then how density of states will depend on energy, right? So, yeah, 1 sec. So we will use the same formula, okay? And your E is UH cut K. K is momentum. That means E is directly proportional to K, okay? So if we compare this relationship from E proportional to K to the power n, your n will be 1 and your dimension is 2, d equals to 2. So use this formula, dE proportional to E to the power d minus n over n, and your answer will be dE proportional to E, okay? Okay, so this is also very simple, and it's from GATE. One sec. Who entered at this time? Okay, I think few of them disconnected. Yeah, yeah, okay. I admitted all. So, okay, so this problem is from GATE examination 2015, and the problem is the energy dependence of the density of states for two-dimension non-relativistic electron gas is given by GE equals to C e to the power n, where C is a constant. So you have to find the value of n. So you can do this problem. It's very simple. And we have mentioned you the formulas of density of state for 1D, 2D and 3D. So just directly you can use this formula, and d is 4 pi ma upon h square. So here you can see d doesn't depend on E. Okay, so n will be 0. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I think it's time for you guys to ask a few things. You can ask, actually, we have a few slides remaining, but it's time is already 10:59, I think. So you want, okay. If you want to ask something, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Ma'am,
1 second. Let me just stop this.
hello.
Hello.
Ma'am, I have one doubt, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, can you explain the construction of reciprocal lattice to a direct lattice?
Yeah, again, you want,
Yes, ma'am, I want one.
yeah. Okay, let me go quickly. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 1 sec. Let me go back. Okay. Okay. So, Justin, actually the problem was initially, actually you have heard about the direct lattice, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So basically direct lattice is basically, these vectors are basically for the description of the crystal structure. Okay. If you want to describe, draw basically, you need only crystal direct lattice system. But if you want to see the atomic arrangement inside the crystal, you need something else. Okay. You go for X-ray diffraction for this information. But in X-ray diffraction, there you get some peaks, okay, Bragg peaks, and these peaks are basically due to the different atomic planes inside the crystal. Okay. So but we cannot relate these two things, okay, the atomic planes and these peaks. Okay. So for this we should for this reason, actually the PP Ewald was a German physicist, and he introduced the idea of reciprocal lattice system so that we can collect the information about the atomic arrangement, right? So if you want to convert uh, direct lattice to reciprocal lattice system, see this. Okay. So this is your monoclinic crystal, okay, in direct lattice, and you want to visualize this structure in reciprocal lattice system, right? So first thing, you need to choose a set of parallel planes inside the direct lattice. So you choose this plane 001 and this plane. These two are parallel planes, right? So they will have same Miller indices, and this plane bottom and top plane will have same Miller indices 100, right? And this is your third plane 100. So for the construction, first thing we did, what we did, in place of these planes 001 plane, we took these lines. Okay. So this line 001 and this line, these are not lines, these are planes. Okay. For convenience, we took it as a line. Okay. Because in 3D, we cannot visualize it like that. So this is your plane 001, this is your plane 001, and this line is plane 100, and this is also your 100 plane. And also this is your 1001 plane, 101 plane, right? So first step, while you are constructing reciprocal lattice, you have to choose an arbitrary origin. Okay. So we choose this point as origin, right? This is your origin. And from this origin, we need to draw a normal to these parallel planes. Okay. Like this. Okay. And the length of this normal is equal to the reciprocal of interplanar spacing between these planes, right? That is 1 upon D100 in that case. So, okay, we draw a normal and we mark the end point like this. Okay? So in this way, we can draw all the normals to all the set of parallel planes, right? Like this, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and the collection of these reciprocal points is known as reciprocal lattice system, and all the individual points are your reciprocal point. Okay, clear, Justin?
Yes, ma'am. Clear, ma'am.
Okay, anyone?
Madam, good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Madam, I am from Tamil Nadu. Okay, Tirumaloon. I am Tirumaloon from Tamil Nadu.
Okay, yeah.
Can I have the slides? Can you mail me the slides, madam? What you're having?
Yeah, we will try. Yeah, we will try. Okay.
Because it's very
Your
useful.
mail?
because it's very useful to us, madam, for
Okay.
future reference, madam.
Okay, no issue. Actually, right now I'm also actually we have some free courses available on our website. Okay, so
Okay, madam.
you can also access these courses, and in these courses you can also have these kind of information, and else I can also send you. Okay.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam.
Yeah. Welcome.
One more, madam.
Yeah.
Any other books for reference regarding that SSP or CMP, madam? Apart from that, Bori and Paber and
You.
Charles Kittel.
I will tell you, there are so many books actually, but
Yes, madam.
basically for this purpose, these two examination, these are the best books. Apart from this, we can also book section on our website, and you can have, there are so many books, so you can
Okay.
also refer. Okay.
Madam, in examination like CSIR or GATE, madam, suppose if they are asking any question, they are asking questions in the format of objective only, madam. In what ways we are answering in shortcut, madam? Suppose if they are asking any questions from that syllabus, madam, what's the main trick to crack that questions, madam?
It depends on question actually, na. In GATE examination, you have some questions, numeric type questions, and there you don't have the options. Okay, so I think and in almost all the papers you have options. Okay, so it depends. Actually, one thing I want to tell you, whatever is the exam like CSIR, NET, GATE, JEST, the questions are not lengthy. Okay, sometimes it looks lengthy, but there will be a shortcut, but it's totally depend on the question. Okay, just say like I told you about the one problem based on the reciprocal lattice system, how you can find the volume of a reciprocal unit cell. So you can use that formula directly, or you can also go use all the formulas and convert all the vectors. Okay, so this is how you can use some trick, but it depends actually on the problem now. Okay, but always there is a shortcut. Okay, because I don't think the problem go beyond half paper. Half paper is very much. Okay, and if you are like going beyond this, so there is some problem, so just skip this question for that time. Okay,
Ma'am.
Thank you.
yes, thank you.
Ma'am, for some arbitrary lattice point, if the lattice vectors A and B and C are given, and if the A dot B cross C comes out to be 0, then what can we do?
A dot B cross C, I don't think it's... repeat your question. You are saying that A dot B cross C is 0 and you want to convert it in a reciprocal lattice system.
Yes, ma'am, for an arbitrary lattice.
I don't think it's not, that means it is not a unit cell, and it is not a basically crystal structure. It is like, we will get back to you later, because I don't think it's a normal question. It's something else.
Okay.
It's a special case, very special case actually.
Okay. And ma'am, what is the Bragg peaks that you mentioned?
Yeah, actually, who is speaking actually? I don't.
Sagar, ma'am.
Sagar, okay, Sagar Modak, yeah. Actually, Sagar, look, what you are asking about the Bragg peaks. Actually, in courses, as I said that we have courses, we will cover all the topics in detail. Okay, and these peaks are basically the Bragg peaks that are due to the atomic planes. So we will get back, because it's already 11:06. So you can ask the questions related to the slide directly, and you can just mail us all the question you have. Okay, we will definitely get back to you, right?
Okay, ma'am. And one more thing, ma'am, please
Yes.
do provide the slides, because it will be very helpful. I was not able to write all the things.
Okay, we will definitely, we will try.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else? Because your next lecture, next instructor is waiting, Mr. Milind Patwardhan. Yeah.